makes me so sad. Please, Santa, bring him some Audible hearing aids. Love, Emily.
It's so good to hear you say you love me.
Ho, 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 ho!
Best Christmas ever!
Call Audible today for your free hearing test.
There's no better time than now to hear better for Christmas.
Call Audible 270-554-1900.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Get the care that you need to stay mentally and physically well from the convenience of your home. Health First Community Health Center is doing their part to help stop the spread. They're now offering telehealth services to keep you healthy at home. Scheduling a virtual visit with your medical or behavioral health provider is easy. All you need is a smartphone, tablet, or computer and internet access. Contact their office for an appointment at 877-667-7017. That's 877-667-7017. At Health First, your health is their first concern.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Thanks for tuning in on this Thursday morning at WPKY. Joining us on the show today, first of all, we'll have a chat with Dave Winder from Murray State University, getting us up to date on everything going on with Racer Athletics. A little bit later on this morning, we'll be joined by Aaron Clayton, who is the radio voice of Lyon County basketball, and we'll talk a lot of high school hoops on the show this morning as well. Speaking of high school basketball, we've got that for you tonight here on WPKY. The Caldwell County Tigers host Ballard Memorial out of the first region out at the Cab Gym tonight. Varsity action about 7:30. Our broadcast begins about 7 o'clock tonight. You can listen to the game here on 1580 AM, 103.3 FM on the free WPKY app. And you can watch the game, live stream it for free at WPKYonline.com. Tigers and Bombers tonight here on WPKY. Stay with us as we continue on the Sideline Report. Again, we'll be talking with Dave Winder from Murray State University right after this break. Back after this on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Tori Hammett or Fred Foltz or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
Caldwell County is a special place in Western Kentucky, featuring beautiful tracts of land. Even though the real estate market is always in a constant state of change, Bollinger Real Estate and Auction understands this and is ready to work for you.
Hi, my name is Ben Bollinger with Bollinger Real Estate and Auction. Whether it's a property valuation or time to sell, Bollinger's team is dedicated to work for you. Real estate solutions with a passion for people.
There is nothing better than being at home for the holidays. This is Leanne with Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress. We have the deals to make your home even cozier. You'll be dreaming of a white Christmas from the comfort of your brand new Serta mattress and adjustable bed base. A better night's sleep is waiting for you. Stop in and see our selection today. Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress, where you always get the best selection, the best furniture at the best price on the Boulevard in Hopkinsville.
Always the best.
Hi there, Jenny from Big Deals again. Did you know that when you purchase locally, 83 cents of every dollar stays right here in our town? And shopping locally has never been easier. This holiday season, give the gift of gift certificates from your local Big Deal store. You'll find dozens of local businesses, from restaurants to car care to entertainment to personal care. Big Deals, it's kind of a big deal for the holidays.
Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYonline.com.
We are back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in today. Joining us now from Murray State University is Dave Winder. And Dave, always good to talk to you. How are things going in Murray today?
Oh, doing great. It's another great day to be a racer, and just really have enjoyed the fall seasons, football, soccer, volleyball, and now we're getting into basketball. We're heading into December now, and each team's got, almost 10 games under their belt, so we're really starting to see some good trends, I think.
Well, and a busy fall season for you and for you guys, and a pretty successful fall season as well.
Well, it was, and when you talk about the football season, the last game of the season win up at Eastern Illinois on November the 20th was just huge for Dean Hood and his second edition of Murray State football. What it did was it secured a winning season at 6-5, and the Racers won their last 3 in a row to get that winning record. And you take the spring of 2021, which was actually the 2020 season, played months and months and months later than it should have been. That's back-to-back winning seasons for Murray State football for the first time since Chris Hatcher was our coach in 2010 and 11. So I think that gives them all kinds of momentum heading into next season. And then the Racers had 11 players named all OVC, and you could read about all of them on GoRacers.com. And our quarterback, DJ Williams from Harvey, Illinois, was named the OVC Freshman of the Year, and he didn't become a starter until the 4th game. So I think the future's bright for Murray State football, and now they head into the recruiting season here, and we'll be talking about some new racers here pretty soon.
Yeah, Coach Hood definitely has things headed in the right direction, it looks like. Talk about his style of play and maybe some of the kind of athletes he's looking for there at Murray State.
Well, I was thrilled the day that we introduced him as head coach, which was December of 2019. I actually met him in the parking lot. I hadn't had a chance to talk to him since he had accepted the job. So there we were outside Heritage Hall at Murray State, and we're about 2 hours away from the press conference to introduce him. And we're just kind of standing out in the parking lot, just talking and reintroducing ourselves a little bit, because I knew him a little bit when he was at Eastern Kentucky. I don't know that he remembered me so much, but I certainly remember him. And I was thrilled that we were getting Dean to be our head coach with all the experience of championship football in our league at Eastern Kentucky and everything he had done in his career, including being part of the resurgence of Kentucky football as a special teams coach. And we're standing out there, and I said, I understand you like to run the ball. And he goes, yes, I do. And he goes, we will run the ball, and the rushing game is going to be a big part of what we do. And when you look at the balance that the Racers have had in 2 years under Dean Hood, there's more to the game of football than just scoring points. You have to have point prevention. And he believes, and I believe, that when you keep the opposing team's quarterback over on his sideline with a baseball cap on and a drink in his hand, he's not going to throw a touchdown pass against you.
Right, yeah.
And when the other team's offense is sitting on the sideline and you've got the ball, you improve your chances of winning, even if you don't score and you win that time of possession, which Murray State did a lot this year. So when he came in, I just felt like he had a more traditional style of football. And, there's many two tight end sets that he ran. And then when you look at how he performed, his teams have performed on in the red zone and goal line, first and goal situations. I just think he's got a great way of coaching football. And then defensively, the Racers, I think, have really outperformed even what I thought they could do.
Well, I was going to say that in college football and maybe football overall, it almost seems like things have changed. It seemed like for a while everybody was going to the spread offense and trying to throw the ball down the field and put up big yards and big points. Now it seems like the efforts kind of swung back the other way as defenses became smaller and quicker. Now everybody wants to go back to running the football again.
I think it's like that with any sport, don't you think, Todd?
Yeah.
There's constantly an evolving thought of making a better mousetrap, right? I know people in football have had trends before, and there will continue to be trends and innovation, and football teams at all levels will try it. And it's the same way in baseball right now. A lot of people are complaining that the shift is ruining baseball, and I still believe you shouldn't be able to tell the defense where they can play. And what it's doing at the big league level right now is you're seeing more players that can hit to all fields, and players that can bunt again and hit situationally on, hey, where are the fielders? Why don't I try to hit it where they're not? It's just not. I just think in baseball there's too many strikeouts, too many walks, but that's a conversation for another time. But getting back to football, I think Dean's got a great way of trying to win a football game. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is having more points than your opponent at the end of the day, whether you've got 14 and they've got 7, or if you've got 54 and they've got 50, you still win the game.
Well, that's kind of the beauty of the sport. There's more than one way to be successful.
Well, there is. And, I guess we've kind of seen that in basketball where some teams will take 40. There are still your Belmonts out there that are going to take probably 30 to 35 a game. But I'm seeing more and more teams that are trying to establish an inside game and play off that for 3 points. So there's all kinds of philosophies in every sport, and just depends on what decade you're in on which one's the most popular.
Yeah. Well, speaking of basketball, some fast starts and some great starts this season for both the men and women there at Murray State.
Well, let's first take the women's team. Rochelle Turner's in her 5th season. Her team is 6-1 after their latest win, which was last night at Evansville. That was a close game until the last 90 seconds, and they stretched it out to 10 points and then, won the game. Right now, Rochelle Turner's got probably the most veteran team in the OVC. They weren't the favorite to win it. Belmont was. But I think we're seeing that Macy Turley, who is a senior on the team, plus Lex Mays and Alexis Burpo, and then you take the super sophomore Caitlin Young, who is probably one of the best forwards in all of women's basketball. They've certainly got a good formula right now because they're out-rebounding teams, and when they can get that inside game going, they've got a chance to be really, really good. So 6-1. They went on the road a few days ago and had Missouri on the ropes on the road and could have won the game. They had the lead with 2 minutes to go. So then they've got Sanford on the road down in Birmingham on Saturday. It's an afternoon game, 2 o'clock, and then they go to Florida before Christmas break. And then once we get back from Christmas, it's December 30th. SEMO's in town, and we start OVC play. So they're really doing well. And then the men's team just got back from 3 games in 3 days at the Naples Invitational Thanksgiving week, and they kind of stumbled in the first game against East Tennessee. There's not many Murray State teams you're going to see go 1 for 16 from 3-point range and miss 12 free throws, Todd. And still, with 90 seconds to go, they were down by 4. So if they shoot the ball at all, they probably win that game. But they just had a bad day. But then they come back and they beat Long Beach 80-43. KJ Williams had a 29-point day and a double-double. And then they come back on the final day and beat the Colonial Conference favorite, James Madison, handily with a 17-0 run that bridged the end of the first half into the second half. And James Madison didn't know what hit him. And it was great to see a Murray State team dominate defensively because they were getting stop after stop after stop. And then, as much as Murray State couldn't hit a shot in that first game, in the James Madison game, they couldn't miss. I think they started the second half 18 out of 21 from the field. Just incredible. And so they won that, and then they came back and played Campbellsville back at home on Monday night, won that one easily, 98-61. And then we've got Middle Tennessee coming into town on Saturday. That'll be the last game before finals. And then after finals, Murray State goes to Memphis a week from Friday to play probably a top 15 team in the Memphis Tigers. So looking forward to all the games leading up to the start of conference for the Murray State men. What do you remember about Coach Cal Luther, Todd? Because we're having a special day for him Saturday.
Yeah, not a whole lot. He was just a little bit before me, I think. So, but I knew you guys had the big day coming up this weekend.
Well, we lost two of our all-time coaching greats with Murray State men's basketball since March. Coach Ron Green passed away. Coach Luther passed away. And, we're just trying to do something this season to remember those great coaches who meant so much to the growth of the program when they were running the show. So we decided to have a special day. And so Saturday we've got Cal Luther Day. A lot of his family, grandkids, great-grandkids are coming back. It's kind of hard for some of his former players to get here because they're rather elderly now as well, and it's not easy for them to travel. But we're going to recognize Coach Cal, who came to Murray State in 1958. He stayed till 1976, 16 seasons. He still holds the Murray State record for the most games coached, 395. And when you think about it, in the glory days of OVC basketball with Western Kentucky in the 1970s, who were always a ranked team, and even went to the Final Four one year, Cal was having to do battle with Western twice a year. So you could arguably say that he put more time winning championships than anybody did. But he won two of those. He was Coach of the Year twice. He took Murray State to its first two NCAA tournament appearances in 1964 and 1968. And from 1968 to 78, I believe, I think it was 10 years, or 79, he was our athletics director. And Coach Luther was part of the reason that we built Roy Stewart Stadium. And he's part of the reason why we built it the way we did, which is still a great venue even 49 years later. So Coach Cal Luther meant a lot to Murray State for the better part of 20-plus years, and we're just going to honor him Saturday night. And then January 22nd is when we're going to have Coach Ron Green Day. So it'll be great to remember those two guys. We've got a floor decal that's going to be right next to our bench, and then we've got like a seat cover for the first seat on the bench, and nobody's going to sit in that seat during the game. So it'll be good on Saturday to just remember what Coach Luther did for Murray State.
Now, I do remember Coach Green a little bit more because I remember watching the coaches show with you and the coach on Channel 6.
Well, you weren't watching me because I didn't start the coaches show till Scott Edgar in the early 90s.
Oh, was that a little later?
Right.
Okay.
But you are right. Do you remember the Banners yearbook that was put out about Murray State basketball years ago?
Yeah.
Well, I wrote a chapter in that book about how media became a big part of Racer basketball, and it was Coach Ron Green when he got the job in 1978, I believe it was. And think about it, he was Coach of the Year in the SEC at Mississippi State, and he still chose to leave that to come back to where he played and to resurrect the program of his alma mater. So when he comes back, he's got this idea for a TV show once a week, and Frank Maroc was the first host of that on WPSD back in the late 70s. So that's what you remember seeing. And I actually hosted that show for 20 years until we got more into the YouTube era where people just don't watch a half-hour show anymore. They watch bits and pieces of things that we still do, like a press conference or a highlight package, but we don't do the traditional half-hour show anymore. So that's what you're remembering. That goes way, way back with Coach Green. And a lot of folks, over there in Region 2, they remember Coach Green. He coached at Murray High School. He coached at Callaway County High School and was just a lifelong giver to the game of basketball at the college level and also the high school level.
Well, I do remember watching some of those shows and watching you. And were you on the Coach Mahoney show for football back then?
I was. I worked with Coach Mahoney, and then Coach Nutt, Denver Johnson, Matt Griffin, up to Joe Panunzio, and even Coach Hatcher and Coach Stewart. So that's a bunch of coaches I work with the TV show. And then for basketball, the only one I didn't work with, I think, was Mark Godfrey, because there was a couple of years there where we weren't doing the show in the 90s. But, yeah, it's always been a pleasure to work with those head coaches. Like I said, though, times have changed, and nobody's doing a half hour, or very rarely is anybody doing a full half-hour coaches show anymore. But we're just doing it in different ways now.
We're talking this morning with Dave Winder from Murray State University here on the Sideline Report. And, Dave, you mentioned baseball earlier, and I don't want to get too far away from basketball and everything coming up with hoop season. But, you know, college baseball season will be here before you know it. It's not that far away.
Well, and we're not that far away from releasing our schedules for Murray State softball and baseball. I think that's going to come here before the end of the week. So be looking for those on GoRacers.com. So we're looking forward to it. The thing about that, when you get back from Christmas, the Christmas break, and school starts again in mid-January, our softball team is inside of a month of starting their season, and baseball is about 6 weeks away from starting their season. They both begin play in February, and that's where you want some of that nice, warm February weather. So
for sure.
But our softball team, they routinely stay on the road the first month before they actually start playing home games. Baseball, they play a lot of home games in February. So, you know, it's just one of those things where it'd be great to get those seasons going, and hopefully both teams have a good season.
Well, you know, there's a lot of Caldwell County people anxiously awaiting that Murray State baseball schedule.
Yeah, they got some attract games coming up. They're going to play Kentucky again. Actually beat them the last time they played them. And they're also going to have a weekend series at Alabama this coming year, too.
Yeah, that'll be good. Anxious to get all that going, but I know basketball is always a big time at Murray State. And are there any more COVID regulations that fans have to take into account when they come to basketball games or anything else?
Well, we still have the mask mandate on any building on the Murray State campus. Yes.
Okay. Looking ahead, since we're talking baseball, what about our St. Louis Cardinals, Dave? They've made a few moves in the offseason. I'm not anticipating any big moves, but it looks like they're trying to move in the right direction.
Well, you know, I don't know much about was it Steven Matz, the left-hander they signed?
Yes.
For the Blue Jays. I don't know much about him, but I've kind of read about him since the signing happened. And he seems like, for them to give him a 3-year contract, he seems like the type of left-hander that's probably in it for the long haul. He's an innings guy, and he seems very durable. So I think that's really going to help them in the rotation. And then, of course, when we get into the spring of 2022 and we get into the baseball season, it's going to be the last go-around for Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright. And it sure would be great to see those guys out with a championship.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of tough. But when you look back, it's almost tough to realize how long those guys have been in those spots.
Oh, gosh. I saw something there. How many games that Wainwright and Molina have been the battery for the St. Louis Cardinals? It's incredible. I think Molina for sure is a Hall of Famer. I don't know about Wainwright. That's Sarge there. He heard something.
Yeah. He's a Wainwright fan.
Well, he's my yellow lab. He's 6 years old, and he's a great guard dog. But you know, it's just I don't know that Wainwright's a Hall of Famer. He's a Cardinal Hall of Famer for sure, and so is Yadier.
Yeah.
But I think Yadi should be in the big baseball Hall of Fame.
Well, as always, I appreciate your time and coming on the show and keeping us updated on everything at Murray State. And anything else you need to get out there before we finish up today?
No, we're good, man. Thanks for having me on, Todd, and I look forward to the next time.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
That is Dave Winder from Murray State University. Back with more on the Sideline Report after this here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Bradley Furniture.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. It's going to almost feel like spring or summertime out there today, temperature-wise. We're going to see sunshine and breezy conditions with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Temperature's going to climb to 70. Then tonight, clear sky, low around 42. Tomorrow, sunshine, warming up to 68. Tomorrow night, a mostly cloudy sky with the temperature falling to 40. And Saturday, mostly sunny and cooler conditions with a high around 56. But again today, enjoy the temperature, sunshine with a high around 70.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Folks, Merry Christmas.
Santa sleigh stops are making their way across our community. Don't miss a chance to shop local and save in the Loyal Listener Big Deal store. While supplies last, you get your big deal today from The Mixer.
Merry Christmas.
Shop local and save local with Santa's sleigh stops. Check out great savings today.
Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYonline.com.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks again to Dave Winder from Murray State University for spending some time with us and catching us up on everything Racer athletics. And as a matter of fact, we can kind of segue into our next guest because this guy also has a lot to do with Murray State athletics. But a lot of what we're going to talk about this morning is going to be high school hoops, but who knows where we might go in the next 15 or 20 minutes. Aaron Clayton, the radio voice of Lyon County basketball, joins us now. Aaron, good morning. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Well, good morning to you, Todd, and thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on. It's the greatest time of the year. It's high school basketball season, and got it started just a couple of nights ago, and more action coming up tonight and tomorrow, so we are in full swing, to say the least.
Yeah, it's off and running, and what do we got, about 4 months of high school hoops?
4 months and hopefully some more, at least on this aspect of it. For me, Lyon County is a very excited place to be right now for high school basketball. It always is, but a little more this year. You can just tell the expectations and each and every game, even though we only have one game in, even on Tuesday night, you could feel a little bit more in the atmosphere, even being on the road, that Lyon County, it isn't just a small school anymore that likes basketball now. It's a school that's going to get everybody's best shot. The expectations are known with the team that they bring back on the boys' side this year. Got a lot of talent on the girls' side, too. But it's going to be a war, it seems like, each and every night we head out on the hardwood.
Well, I remember when Caldwell County had those really good football teams and at one time ranked number 1 in the state. And it seemed like it was almost a traveling circus every week. And everywhere we'd go, there'd be big crowds and you'd get the best shot from the other guys. And it seems like that's kind of where Lyon County basketball is right now for the guys.
It really is. Tuesday night, we played Hopkins County Central, and I think Hopkins County Central, a team that didn't get a lot of games in last year due to COVID, may have been overlooked, maybe underrated by a bunch of individuals that, would be able to, across the state, rank these teams or see these teams. And that's no discredit to anybody that ranked Hopkins Central maybe a little bit lower because you just didn't know. You didn't know what these guys brought back besides one player in particular. And even that young man, I believe, has improved leaps and bounds. And that is Marcus Eaves. I know you talked about Murray State basketball and everything with Dave Winder, his brother Javion, who was a great player at Madisonville and Murray State. Well, Marcus is unbelievable. He's a stretch guard. He grown to about 6'3", 6'4" now, put on a lot of muscle. Unbelievable speed, more directional speed, can turn on a dime, and then just the ability he has to score and get to the rim and now score from mid to long range allowed him to put up 38 points on Tuesday night against Lyon County. And not only that, they had great performances from Trevor Weldon. He had 16 points. Also, Damari Hall, a big presence down low. Wesley Morris had a big game as well, and Drake Skeen for Hopkins County Central. So Coach Fralix, he has a very good team this year, and it always seems like at Hopkins Central when Lyon County goes to Morton's Gap and boys action, it doesn't matter if we're good, bad, indifferent, or they are. The games always seem to be close. They always seem to be high scoring and usually close to the end. And much like the last time we played there a year and a half ago when we had a very good team, We did not pull away till very late, and it took a new career high for a single game performance by Travis Perry of 43 points, and also 25 and 16 for Jackson Shoulders to pull out a 11-point victory at the end, 89-78. But it was a very fun game, entertaining game up and down. And I do believe Hopkins County Central is going to compete in that 7th district and possibly to be a region tournament team and maybe even pull an upset here or there, so they're a team to look out for.
Yeah, Michael Frelick's beginning his 3rd season over there, and of course, he's a former Tiger as well here at Caldwell County, so a lot of people keeping up with both of those teams from Caldwell County, so a lot of connections there. And another Caldwell connection I can throw out is everyone here remembers Javion Eaves over at Madisonville North Hopkins because it seemed like he dropped about 30 on Caldwell County for about 6 straight years.
Yeah, the one I always remember for Lyon County's perspective, when I first started in the 2011-2012 season, kind of for us as we played Trigg County multiple times, was Deonquez Nance. He was even the region player of the year a couple of years in for me. It seemed like every time we played him over like a 6-game span, I think he averaged like 33 points. So you kind of remember those guys. But Marcus, he's going to be special. I really do believe he's still got 2 years left. He's just a junior, and I do believe he'll be playing collegiately. I know he will if he wants to one day, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
Well, you know, when Lyon County and Hopkins Central get together, it's almost a bit of a Three Rivers Conference feel from back in the day. You know, it's I know Hopkins County Central wasn't a member of the Three Rivers Conference, but South Hopkins was, West Hopkins was, so it kind of feels that way when those two teams hook up.
Yeah, it does. Again, I remember those as a kid, of course, before my time as an announcer. And that conference, unfortunately, had disbanded, or at least the actual tournaments and play. But it is neat to see at least those teams. We still play those teams, of course, as we play Critton in our district. And as we said, have Livingston and Union. We play them. We play Hopkins County. And we play every district for that matter. But at least when you play, there's old rivalries in everything that you do. Of course, you miss the old teams like a Providence. But you still play Webster County and kind of got that rivalry from there. And we'll play Webster County next week. So it is neat to see these teams still collide at least once, if not twice, every year.
Well, we talk about high hopes this season for the Lyon County Lions, and everything I've seen so far has the Lions ranked number 1 in the 2nd region.
Yes, but again, like I said on the broadcast on Tuesday night, those are just on paper. And if we don't prove it on the hardwood, and our guys are the first to tell you, it's not going to mean a whole lot of anything. And that's what it took Tuesday night. It took a concerted effort from everybody on the floor, not just Perry and Shoulders, but good play as well from Gunnar Bingham. Brady Shoulders, he had the unenviable task of having to try to guard Marcus Eaves and still was able to score double figures that night going against Marcus. And so that's going to be an every night occasion. We're going to have to prove ourselves every night. We cannot go with the attitude of, oh, we got this in the bag, or we're 1-0 or 10-0 or whatever. We had a great start last season at 14-0, the best start record-wise in Lyon County history. But, again, it means nothing if you cannot win the game at hand. And, again, the next game for Lyon County, I'm not going to be Mr. Hyperbole, but it may be the toughest game we play all year in the Hoop Fest Friday night for the boys when they play a defending Tennessee state champion in Good Pasture Academy, which is a private Christian school just outside of Nashville. And, again, they won the Tennessee 2A state title, I believe, last year. And it's going to be very difficult for Lyon County to get by that test Friday night. And then, again, the next week, you got Webster County, Crittenden County. Then you play this team from Louisville. I think people may have heard of Mail. I think they're pretty decent. You got to play Mail at Muhlenberg County next Saturday. And then the next week, you may have to play them again because you got to go to the King of the Bluegrass, the best end-season state tournament for Kentucky high school basketball. And you've drawn Ashland Blazer, who, of course, is the Final Four team from a year ago and undefeated 2 years ago. So to say the first 3 weeks of the schedule's tough will be an understatement.
Yeah, I was going to say high hopes, but a big-time schedule to get ready for that postseason run this year.
Yes, and if you want to be getting ready for a postseason run, that's who you're going to have to play. It's the toughest schedule, I believe, no doubt, that Lyon may have played, maybe since the 1980 season when they played teams from Louisville. And again, had a great team that was swept through the region easily, really. Beat every team in the region that year with greats like Paul Ackridge and Darrell Travis and Terry Stovall and Chuck Green. And I know I ended up leaving guys out, but had a lot of great players on that team. And they got upset by Trigg County in the opening round of the district tournament under Coach Curtis Turley. But that team, everybody looks back at that team, the run they had, the schedule they had, of course. Everybody will talk about the 90 and 91 teams that went to the region championship games, and even going further back to the 70s, 73 with guys like Bill Skilligan that barely lost to Madisonville in that title game. Lions only been to the title game since they won it in 51 and 66, 73, 90, and 91. Just 4 times in 71 years that they've been to the finals and have not won it in 71 years. So, yeah, you can call it a Hoosiers-type story, and, very rarely would happen in a small school like this against big schools like Madisonville and Hopkinsville and Henderson, Christian County, and the power that UHA is. It'd be hard to get by one of those teams, much less 5 of them with a school of 250 people. So if you're going to make a movie-like Cinderella-type run, you're going to have to go through the gamut to get to the finals, and this time have a chance to win it and finally go back to Lexington for the first time in legitimately a lifetime.
Yeah, the Lions a pretty balanced team. However, when the big crowds come, I think a lot of them are coming to watch this Travis Perry kid because he's got a shot, at the state all-time scoring record if he keeps putting up the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah, he won't ever mention it. The teammates won't ever mention it, but I mention it to everybody that comes by me. My wife can even attest to that. She's in the other room right now. But I go through, and every night he has a game, I keep a track myself. I don't want to miss anything. I knew, of course, last 2 nights ago with the first game of the year, he was at 21.99, and now is up to 22.42. Of course, the record, I thought about it all the time. King Kelly Coleman, Wayland High, 1956, 4,337 points, and he is over halfway there and still has half of his career left. And right now he's on the pace. Again, last year, he played 10 less games last year as a freshman than he did as an 8th grader. Of course, that was due to COVID. But just as an 8th grader, he scored 852 points. Last year, with 10 less games, he scored 709. And not only that, another thing that's going to be kind of scary is other records he might break. Again, right now he's an all-time 80% free throw shooter. He's already got over 240 three-pointers. Again, he may break the three-point record. He may be one of the higher free throw shooters of all time. And he may, of course, set the all-time scoring record. I mean, that's something that's not just saying it to be saying it. We're not blowing smoke. He legitimately can break all these records. Again, the next big one for him will be that 3,000-point mark. And for that matter, it will be passing Ty Rogers, who many and rightfully so believe is the greatest player in Lyon County history, who had 3,300 points from his time from the late 90s to 2004 as a player at Lyon County. But, I mean, just 2 nights ago, Travis scored 43 points. And if I remember correctly, it was the sophomore year for Ty when he scored 50 against Trigg in December of, if I'm not mistaken, of, I believe, 2002. It was December of 02. So, yeah, I believe it was his either sophomore or junior year whenever he put up 50 on Trigg. I mean, I believe that's a possibility. He could set the single-game scoring record for Lyon County, which is 54 by Wendell Holloway back in the 50s. And not just that, but another one that's going to be an amazing statistic that you don't get to see much is a guy like Jackson Shoulders, who is a senior this year, but he's got a legitimate shot to get to 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. And again, he's already been an all-state caliber baseball player, signed with Kentucky Wesleyan. Gunnar Bingham, another great basketball player, he is signed with Murray State to play baseball. Just the athleticism on this team. And again, the other 2 sophomores like Travis and Jack Reddick and Brady Shoulders, they're so talented as well. Reddick running the point, and again, that stretch guard. Shoulders he's only growing. He's pushing 6'6" now. It's just amazing what these individuals can do statistically, but also what they can do together as a team is more importantly, and that's win games and maybe have a chance to do something that hadn't been done in a lot of people's lifetimes in Lyon County.
Yeah, who do you kind of see as the top contenders this year outside of Lyon in the second region?
Well, right now I think it's pretty open. Again, Hopkins Central showed what they can do Tuesday night. I think on paper, yes, you're going to look at a team like Madisonville that's got a Cale Gaither and got guys around him like Donye Frazier and got guys around him like Zach Towle. Hopkinsville's always got great athletes. I know they got Deshaun Mercer back. Those will be the top 3. I think Union County's got a very good team this year. But after that, I mean, really, Ton, I believe it's up in the air any given night. You don't really know what you're going to have. You never can count a UHA out as well. Again, I know they had a good game against Caldwell the other night. They got Grubbs back. They did lose a lot from last year's team that won the region championship. They've got a new coach and Melvin Brown, and he's been with the program for many years. And I know that's an old rivalry for Lyon County. Not a lot of love lost between Lyon and UHA and the All-A over the years. That'll be another tough one. I think that'll tell a lot right there in January when the All-A comes around. And Lyon and UHA may have a chance to meet again. Could be Caldwell County. I know Caldwell County, your listening fans, I'm not going to knock them by one bit. That is the rivalry for Lyon County, just 12 miles difference in those two schools. But it seemed like every time we played Caldwell last year, even though we got away with a double-digit victory, especially that last game, Caldwell did so well just shooting the ball. And they were so well moving the ball against us. You know, we had to pretty much pick our poison of who we were going to stop that night. And, again, you had a guy like Trip Branch last year for Caldwell County. Now, I know graduated, but it was still just so much fun to watch those guys, Coach Wpky, what he brings to the table, because you got guys like Gabriel Spinks who put up about 30 points on us. The Whittington brothers, they did so good against us. Remember, Blake Vivrette had a really good game the last time we played y'all last year, and even Bumpus had a good game. So I'm not counting Caldwell County out. I'm not just saying that just to appease who may be listening, but there are a lot of teams that could do a lot of damage in our district. I know Crittenden lost a lot to graduation. Livingston's still building up. Trigg, I believe, has a lot of good talent as well. Let's see what they can do as we play them here in the next couple of weeks. But I truly believe it is very open on any given night. You're going to have to come ready to play or you will get beat. That's not just saying it to be saying it. If you don't show up, your season can come to end in a heartbeat.
Well, and on the girls' side, Lyon County's girls with just about everybody back from last year. So I know they kind of took one on the chin the other night, but that's a really good Hopkins County Central team too. But I know hopes are high on the girls' side too at Lyon County.
They are, and credit to Hopkins County Central. They had a fantastic opening game, and that has seemed to be, unfortunately for Lyon County, the MO sometimes of when they start against the District 7 team, especially. Normally it's Caldwell County. They'll come out that first game on the road and get beat, unfortunately, by a pretty heavy margin. Then they come back later in the year and play them close, if not even win. But Emily Jones, unbelievable. 33 points for her, almost double figures in points and rebounds and assists. Or not assists, but steals. Brooklyn Clark, the transfer, coming in. Brianna Fritz was their leading scorer. She returns. The size of Mercy Sutton was a big, big hurdle for us to overcome. But Lyon County is going to be just fine. Again, you got all-state caliber Callista Collins. She was a double-double machine last year. She's back as a fifth-year senior with the COVID year, and, again, a Rutgers signee for basketball. Grayson Wynn, great three-point shooter. She had a good game on Tuesday night. Hadley Butler, a good defensive guard. Rose Smith as well, much like Callista, right there with her leading the team in scoring a year ago. Great soccer player. She's a senior, a very long and lanky player. Lily Perry, the younger sister of Travis Perry, she's a point guard. She's going to do just fine. And then you got a lot of middle schoolers coming up. It'll be kind of led by Piper Cottom, and that's the daughter of new head coach Don Cottom, who, again, is a former player, former assistant, and now has her husband Sean on the staff with her, former player Courtney Pancake Sutton. She also has a former player Barrett Blackburn White now, and she's got a tough schedule too. I mean, got to play Marshall County tomorrow night and the Marshall County Hoop Fest, and that's not going to be easy by any means. The defending state runner-up. You got to go play Apollo on Saturday. You're playing pretty much all the teams in the region here. You're playing Tillman over in Region 1, Davis County, Callaway County. So, I mean, it's not going to be an easy time for the Lady Lions either. They're going to be tested each and every night, but I believe they got enough experience to make a legit run at the All-A, the district, and who knows, with the right draw, what might happen in the region tournament. I know last year they got a big win against a big school in Madisonville who was trying to bounce back. That was a huge win for Lyon County, but it's always tough to get over teams like Henderson, Madisonville. I know Christian County has a lot of talent this year as well, so it'll be interesting to see what the Lady Lions can do, but I know, if anything, they always find a way to get better and progress as the season goes along, and I'm sure Coach Cotton will have them doing just that.
It's going to be a fun season. Aaron, I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for talking hoops with us, and I'll be seeing you guys next week.
All right. Thank you so much, Todd.
That is Aaron Clayton, the radio voice of Lyon County basketball on WCCK Radio, and we appreciate him coming on the show and spending some time with us. Hopes high at Lyon County. Of course, hopes high a lot of schools this year. Basketball season getting underway. We'll have hoops here on WPKY tonight. Caldwell County and Ballard Memorial's guys from the Cab Gym. So we'll have that for you about 7 o'clock airtime, 7:30 tip-off. for basketball action. Stay with us. We'll continue with more on the Sideline Report after this timeout on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Raider Auction Company, Hopkinsville, buys and sells farm equipment every day. Find out more at RaiderAuctionCompany.com. That's ROEDER AuctionCompany.com.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. It's going to almost feel like spring or summertime out there today, temperature-wise. We're going to see sunshine and breezy conditions with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Temperature's going to climb to 70. Then tonight, clear sky, low around 42. Tomorrow, sunshine, warming up to 68. Tomorrow night, a mostly cloudy sky with the temperature falling to 40. And Saturday, mostly sunny and cooler conditions with a high around 56. But again today, enjoy the temperature, sunshine with a high around 70.
West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction holds monthly auctions at the Auction Center on U.S. Highway 62 in Princeton, in the former Hancock's grocery store. Be sure to check their website for dates and times and listings of auctions and days at the Auction Center. WestKentuckyRealEstate.com has all of their upcoming auctions listed. If you would like to have an auction or would like to find out how to consign at an auction, contact West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction. Wayne Boyd, broker auctioneer.
Dunks Used Tires and Wheels, where the customer is always number one. So when life's throwing you a number two, just remember, Dunks Tires and Wheels, because we'll be here for you. We sell used custom wheels and tires and do plug and patch repair. We have all tread styles and sizes in stock. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and on call for emergencies. Call 270-963-6391. Dunks Used Tires and Wheels, where the customer is always number one.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Again, thanks to Dave Winder from Murray State University for being on the show today. And a big thanks to Aaron Clayton, the radio voice of Lyon County basketball, for joining us here on the Sideline Report. Lots of hoops coming up here on WPKY the next couple of days. Told you that we've got boys basketball action from the Cab tonight. The Tigers hosting the Ballard Memorial Bombers, the first ever regular season meeting between those two schools. So we'll have that for you tonight. Tip-off is about 7:30 for the varsity game, and our broadcast begins at about 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game here on 1580 AM, 103.3 FM on the free WPKY app, and we'll have a live video stream available for you for free over at WPKYonline.com, so you can watch the game if you can't get out to the Cab tonight. Same deal tomorrow night. The Lady Tigers will be playing their second game of the season. Todd County Central will be coming to town, and of course the Lady Rebels are coached by Matt Fralix, who happens to be the Caldwell County Tigers all-time leading scorer. So we'll have that for you Friday night. I believe varsity also 7:30 Friday, and airtime about 7 o'clock. You can watch that game as well over at WPKYonline.com. A busy first week of the season for the Caldwell County teams wraps up on Saturday. The Tigers and Lady Tigers will both be in action at Union County. Action begins about 4:30 Saturday afternoon for the girls. I believe the girls are first, and then the guys. We'll have both of those games for you on WPKY, but those will be radio only. No video on Saturday, but you can listen to both Caldwell County's boys and girls games at Union County Saturday here at 1580 AM, 103.3 FM. You can listen to it at WPKYonline.com and on the free WPKY app as well. That's going to wrap us up this morning here on the Sideline Report. Thanks a lot for being with us. This is Todd Griffin. You've been listening to the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. A bill to extend federal government funding to avoid a partial government shutdown